sometimes I'll have conversations with my guy friends where I need to check them, where I'm like, you need to check yourself. They'll be like, oh, well, her hair wasn't perfect, or she didn't have like veneers, so I just didn't. And I'm like, you are a 4 at best. Like, this is insane.
I know that standards exist, but literally think about if we saw any male content creator come out with that type of content. Like, literally.
Why did she snap, Trent? Welcome back to another video, man. Hope your day is going good. And in today's video, so there's a red pill community for women now. So women got the red pill going on? I gotta hear this. T Rizzle, what do you think about the red pill community for women?
No comment, bro.
No comment. Alright, so I guess we might get straight into it, man. This is about to be hilarious. Yeah, you can just imagine.
He's a dangerous man, and you have no business dating one.
Look, I'm not becoming one of those types of content creators, but I've seen too many videos in 2025 of women just portraying loser activity. So when I saw this video on Abba and Preach's channel, I knew I had to make my own version of it. And literally, like somebody said in the comment section, there's just a bunch of contradictions on both sides. They don't even realize they are becoming fresh and fit with wigs on.
Back in the olden days, they would see 200 baddies in their whole life. And now it's like they are desensitized to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll have conversations with my guy friends where I need to check them, where I'm like, you need to check yourself. They'll be like, oh, well, her hair wasn't perfect, or she didn't have like veneers, so I just didn't. And I'm like, you are a 4 at best. Like, this is insane.
I know that standards exist, but literally think about if we saw any male content creator come out with that type of content. Like, literally.
Why did she snap, Trent?
She kept it honest, man. That sounds like something you'll say. I heard you say something like that before.
Yeah.
Think about it. Just, let's say 2 men on a podcast based in Miami. Matter of fact, let's put some women around them and they just make those... that already exists. That's the whole red pill community. Male red pill content creators' core beliefs are that men should be high value, women are promiscuous, they're not to be trusted, they're gold diggers, etc., etc. But when you
I don't consider myself red pill though, Jesus.
Even the ones in person, they are saying the exact same things in reverse. Men don't deserve X, Y, and Z. Only high value men get respect. All these same red pill adjacent conversations.
I hate when short men try to talk to me like I look like I want to have short children with you.
And now maybe that woman is just into raising the next fleet of NBA players, but I think that there's a little bit more to it. Myron Gaines literally has a book titled Why Women Deserve Nothing, and he's a bona fide loser pretty much across the internet. But
Why women deserve less.
Which they are, nobody bats an eye.
That nigga wrote a book. That's crazy.
For being the one that was there watching them struggle, for being the one that had to buy their underwear and buy them food. They feel like you've already seen them not looking like they're
30 reasons why men deserve nothing.
To say the most outrageous things about relationships and dating, things that can make them seem like honestly goofies if anybody is giving a clear perspective. But the strange phenomenon about this is women will give them praise for saying just outlandish shit. Every time I scroll down the timeline, I see a video like the ones that we've shown, but I'll see a video like this, and then when I go to the comment section, it just has me looking, wow, amazed.
Whenever I've heard a man say, let me see what you look like with no makeup, let me see what you look like without the hair, I feel that that man is telling you that he does not have the money to finance your beauty upkeep. Don't come over here.
Negative. That mean that man just likes natural beauty. Bro, when you in the club and you see a female artist makeup on, she look bad. Get her to the crib, she take all of it off. You like, bro, where's the female who was at the club? I don't know this person who is in the bed with you right now. Like, bad makeup can turn you out to a whole different person, bro.
My eyes aren't really green. You know what else?
Another secret.
Nice in the summer. I'm gonna go to Sephora, get you some makeup. So I need to see you without all that because I want to strip you of all that because I ain't got it. When a man says that to you, he wants to strip you of everything. He doesn't want you to have the thought process of maintaining yourself.
One thing that the internet has to do in 2025 is when somebody slows down their verbiage, they need to stop listening to them. Very rarely are they spitting any sorts of facts. I can almost promise you that it has nothing to do with the upkeep that you have or you having some sort of lavish lifestyle that he can't participate in when you do it. He literally just wants to see what you look like without fucking makeup on. Like, I don't even understand how you can jump to those hurdles in order to come to that conclusion. But the Olympics is in Los Angeles in a couple years. And if you're already ready right now, everybody else just needs to stop and not even compete, because you are gonna win if you are jumping to conclusions like this. It almost seems like when I watch videos like that, that people have things to hide about themselves. I hear videos talking about men don't need to know women's finances. Men don't need to know women's dating history. Men don't need to know what you look like without makeup. Men don't need to know about your family life. Well, damn. Then you get mad when men don't know things about you, and it's because, well, it's none of their business. It's not something that they should know. It's not a means for them to protect themselves, just like it's a means for you to protect yourself, but it's them being judgmental and picky and all these other things. I don't see too many
Don't
times
get mad when a nigga don't buy you nothing for Valentine's Day. They don't know what you like.
To dating from a female perspective,
Shots
as it
fired.
is to a male perspective, when people fresh and fit talk about only having the 304s. Now you're justifying why you should go out into the world doing these things, and it's not leading to any sorts of better results. Hell, has she even ever thought about maybe this man is saying, hey babe, you can also just be comfortable in your own skin around me. You don't always have to wear makeup. So what happens 10, 15 years down the line? Do you continuously wear the makeup all the time? I just don't even think that there's any sort of logic that says, hey, let me be this combative over something so small and insignificant. Now, red pill content for men can breed mistrust and this whole stigma behind dating in women that honestly has men lonelier than ever. And on the flip side of that, it's doing the exact same things for women and nobody says anything.
There is not a single man who actually believes in not all men, because they'll tell their sisters and mothers to be careful, and they'll obsess over controlling their wives and daughters because they know, deep down, they too assume that men are all the same. But to everybody else, it's not all men. So to those men...
Oh my God, it just came to me. They want this to keep propagating. The red pill for men and women, to keep us lonely so that we'll buy sex robots.
This man funny, bro.
I'm trying to tell you, bro, this is their ultimate plan.
Instead of trying to distance yourself from the problem because you can't get over your bruised male ego, realize that if you refuse to acknowledge the problem by derailing the conversation and invalidating women, you are just as bad.
Now, on surface level, some of this stuff has good conversation and good intention behind it. There's something to be talked about how people view each other in relationships. But when this person specifically, or other content creators like her, base their whole identity and lifestyle about relationships suck, men only see you as lesser than, you're not equal to a man in his eyes, etc., only pushing the divide further and further between men and women when it comes to dating and relationships. What do we think is the outcome? It looks like relationships are put on the back burner more and more and more, and then people are in their 30s and they get desperate because there's some sort of benefit seeking. It looks like people don't know how to respect each other based off of the sole fact that they have two different genders than each other. It looks like people will avoid relationships more and more and more because on one end of the spectrum, there are men telling men not to date these women and stack their bread. And then on the other end, there are women telling women don't deal with these men. And so now you have the...
I just said it. What I just said. So now, get you a sex robot.
Two opposing forces pulling each other away from each other, only for them to be criticized and chastised later on in their life when they're not dating, when they get finessed because they don't understand how dating works, when they don't have kids and live out a dream and they call them lonely. This shit is weird.
It is not quirky or funny to publicly admit that your emergency contact is your boyfriend or husband who is deeply incompetent and irresponsible. It is wildly concerning to me to see all of the women that are under this sound that are saying, ladies and gentlemen, my emergency contact, and he is doing the most outlandish type of behavior. The joke being that he is doing something that's irresponsible and it's supposed to be funny, but then it also translates to him being your emergency contact. And the joke is supposed to be that if he was in an emergency situation, like that's who would be the one to care for you. I don't find those kinds of jokes funny.
Just like in the male red pill space, you have people that are women, literally the opposite of the men, who validate the claims or fears or dreams or fantasies or whatever these things are that the men in this space have. You have the just pearly things. You have the times where Brittany Renner went Muslim. You have any other women who is bashing
Brittany Renner went Muslim?
sort of women for having quote unquote promiscuous behavior whole time.
Would that happen?
Bodies, I don't know. And all it does is help further the point. It's the whole, I have a black friend and he said that this wasn't wrong, so you know it's not wrong. In the female space, there is that exact same thing. I promise you, it is a new era of content creators where women are doing the same thing as men, and because they need their pick-me's to also fall in line, you get this male version of a red pill female content creator who's just validating the claims and concerns of these loser women.
There are only two types of men. Type number one, I'll call these guys the self-starters. These are the confident guys. These are the ones who have their stuff going on. They are very independent. They have been alone before. They know what's up. Now, type number one is rarer, but these are the guys who will actually, let's say worst case scenario, you guys are together and then break up. They will actually respect your boundaries. Why? Because they already have their own life that they can go right back to. Having said that, this is the type of guy who will move on from you faster. I don't know if that's going to hurt your feelings or not. But type two is the guy who thinks he is independent, but in fact has never really experienced anything other than codependency in his relationships. And if and when eventually that relationship breaks up, because it always does with a guy who's codependent, this is the guy who will keep coming back every single time, even if he is the one who broke up with you first. This is why you always hear me or your friends or other women telling you men always come back, because most guys are type 2 masquerading around like they're type 1, and they are just not.
I think we let stuff like this slide.
That's valid. And I'll say that I was type 2 until I became type 1. After my relationship, I started to realize where the codependence is. Like, you see, man, that's a conversation for a whole another video, man. I'm not gonna get into all that.
For so long, because the narrative, and maybe there's some truth behind it in some situations and in some regards, is that women have been victims in relationships. Now, that almost seems a little oxymoronic, because at the end of the day, from my perspective, a lot of the times these people are choosing each other. So how can you be the victim in a relationship where the guy is a mama's boy when you knew he was a mama's boy before you got into it? I have no fucking clue. I don't know. And no, please don't get into my comment section talking about women being abused or whatever, like physically. That's not what I'm talking about at all. We condemn that behavior. But the way that we look at Fresh and Fit, the way that we look at Kevin Samuels for some of these other people, the way that people look at any of the other red pill manosphere dating guys who are extreme about dating for the men, is the same way that we should look about it for the women. The only reason why we don't, from my perspective, is because there has been this overwhelming majority of people that have felt like women are victims in these relationships that they totally consented to, and ultimately it just didn't end up well. So then they were able to use their voice and get on the internet and project their feelings onto other people, and they put a fancy bow on it by using 3-syllable words that they probably can't even define, but because it's the new buzzword of the week or whatever the case may be, it justifies their feelings and it makes them seem like they were without any sort of fault in these relationships. The true to God only advice that a lot of people need in relationships is go out there and experience stuff. Put yourself out there. Stop being on social media to figure out how to do things. This stuff will only give you analysis paralysis, and it will take you out of something that you actively need to participate in order to get better in. Learn, fail, learn, succeed, fail, succeed, learn, fail, learn, and then ultimately you will end up with a much...
At the end of the day, he's right, man. Good video by Amizi. You gotta learn. You gotta fail to learn. I've failed so many times. I've cringed at so many of my failures, but they've made me into the man I am today. T-Wizzle! Leave the people with something.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Tupac, man, because he seen all this coming, man. Man was a prophet. It was before his time. But I hate this back and forth that we have going, bro, between men and women, for real. Because at the end of the day, we need each other, man. Men need women, and women need men. You feel me? Men help to bring structure in the world because women are too emotional. You know, they think with their emotions. Men, we make the the logical decisions in the world. You know what I'm saying? We both need each other to procreate. So, you know, that's what we're here for.
That being said, man, if you made it to the end of this video, you're a real one. I appreciate you taking that time. And YouTube has a video up here that they say is probably the best video for you out of our collection. So go ahead, take your time. You can check that out. If not, you know, go ahead, like, comment on how you felt about this video. How do you feel about the red pill community for women? Are you gonna get a sex robot? Let me know in the comments below, man. Timestamp it. I'm reading all your comments. And as for all that, I'm out.